The 10 peso coin issued in 2005 is part of the new design series, NDS of the Philippine currency, introduced by the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas BSP. This bimetallic coin represents more than just monetary value. It carries the story of national heroes, monetary evolution, and technological advancement in Philippine coinage. Before 2000, the Philippines had not issued a 10 peso coin in circulation. The highest coin denomination was 5 peso. However, inflation, rising production costs for banknotes, and the need for more durable currency led the BSP to introduce the 10 peso coin in 2000, replacing the 10 peso banknote, which was eventually demonetized. The 2005 10 peso coin is notable for being bimetallic, featuring a copper-nickel outer ring and an aluminum-bronze center. This was a relatively modern innovation in Philippine coinage, designed to make the coin more secure against counterfeiting and easier to identify by touch. Outer ring silver-colored, made of copper-nickel. Inner core gold-colored, made of aluminum-bronze. This bimetallic structure also gave the coin a distinctive aesthetic appeal, resembling many modern coins in Europe and Asia. The obverse front of the 10 peso coin showcases the busts of Andres Bonifacio and Apolinario Mabini, two pivotal figures in Philippine history. Andres Bonifacio (1863–1897), known as the father of the Philippine Revolution, he founded the Katipunan, which led the revolution against Spanish rule in 1896. He symbolizes the Filipino spirit of courage and nationalism. Apolinario Mabini (1864–1903), called the brains of the revolution, Mabini was a paralytic intellectual who served as the first prime minister and foreign minister of the First Philippine Republic. He guided the revolution with his political philosophy and vision for self-governance. These two figures were chosen to represent the balance of action, Bonifacio and intellect, Mabini, in the nation's fight for independence. The BSP Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas seal, updated in 1993 after the central bank's rechartering. The year of minting 2005. The denomination 10 peso. Decorative Filipino elements subtly embedded in the design to enhance national pride. This side of the coin emphasizes the role of the central bank in maintaining financial stability and reinforces national branding through clean, modern visuals. In 2001–2002, the 10 peso banknote started to disappear from circulation, replaced gradually by this coin. Coins have longer lifespans than paper bills, lasting 10 to 15 years, compared to 1 to 2 years for notes. Thus, the 10 peso coin was a cost-efficient decision. The 2005 issue became one of the most circulated versions during this transition. It marked the full replacement of the banknote by coinage. The 2005 10 peso coin was widely circulated across the Philippines, used for jeepney fares, sari-sari stores, schools, and daily transactions. Its distinct size, weight, and bimetallic design made it easy to recognize. It became a symbol of the working-class economy. The 2015 Philippine 25 centimo coin is part of the new generation currency NGC coin series, which was introduced by the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas BSP to modernize the country's coinage system. This coin reflects updates in security, design, and materials, aligning with international standards and helping combat counterfeiting. The NGC coin series was launched in 2018, but many of the coins, including the 25 centimo, bear dates as early as 2015, since they were minted and prepared in advance. The actual circulation of these coins began in March 2018. The overhaul was designed to improve durability, enhance security features, reflect national symbols and flora, remove confusing similarities between old denominations, feature description, obverse front stylized Philippine flags, 3 stars and sun, the inscription Republica ng Pilipinas, and the year 2015. Reverse back image of the Philippine catman, Dillenia philippinensis, a native flowering plant. It includes the denomination 25 centimo and Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas seal, etch plain smooth, shape round, material nickel-plated steel, color silvery, diameter 20.0 millimeters, weight 3.6 grams. The catman flower depicted on the reverse is a native species to the Philippines. It represents natural beauty and biodiversity, national pride in local flora, environmental consciousness, while the 25 centimo has no advanced anti-counterfeiting tech like higher denominations. Its simplified metallic composition, clear denomination markings, unique design, and national elements were all meant to reduce confusion with other coins and deter fraudulent replicas. Though the 25 centimo Coin has low purchasing power. It plays a critical role in completing exact payments, pricing in traditional markets, fair computations in some local transportation. By 2018, the BSP began phasing out older Centimo coins from the BSP series and improved Flora and Fauna series in favor of this NGC version. Not rare in circulation, not yet of high numismatic value, may gain collector interest in the future for being the first NGC version bearing a pre-release date 2015. Some collectors keep 2015 dated coins as curiosities, since they predate the official public release by 3 years. The 2015 Philippine 25 centimo coin is part of the BSP's modern, flora-themed new generation currency coin series, designed for simplicity, durability, and modern aesthetics, a tribute to Filipino culture, national flora, and monetary modernization, an everyday use coin that helps bridge the transition to a better coinage system.
The 1983 50 centimo coin belongs to the Flora and Fauna series, one of the most iconic coin series ever issued by the Banco Central ng Pilipinas BSP. This series aimed to promote awareness of the Philippines' rich natural heritage by featuring native plants and animals on the country's coinage. Central Bank of the Philippines, now Banco Central ng Pilipinas. Purpose: to highlight the Philippines' native biodiversity and modernize coin design. The Ang Bagong Lipunan ABL series used during the Marcos regime. The Flora and Fauna series introduced new denominations and sizes and emphasized national symbols, scientific appreciation, and cultural identity. Obverse front portrait of Marcelo H. del Pilar, Filipino journalist, reformist, and hero of the propaganda movement. Inscriptions: Republica in Pilipinas and Marcelo H., a Filipino patriot, lawyer, and writer-editor of La Solidaridad, a key publication during the reform movement against Spanish rule, used the pen name Plaridel. His appearance on the coin honored his contributions to Filipino identity and nationalism. The Philippine eagle was chosen to represent national strength and uniqueness, raise awareness about the endangered status of the species, highlight the importance of wildlife preservation. The Philippine eagle is one of the largest and rarest raptors in the world, endemic to the Philippines. Its powerful symbolism aligns with independence, sovereignty, and environmental pride. The coin was issued during the presidency of Ferdinand Marcos. 1983 was marked by political unrest, especially after the assassination of opposition leader Benigno Ninoy Aquino Jr. The economy was experiencing instability, with inflation and external debt rising. Coinage needed to remain reliable and trusted, which led to the introduction of new, stable series like Flora and Fauna. The 50 centimo was widely used for public transportation fares, market transactions, small purchases in sari-sari stores. It held real buying power in the early 1980s. Unlike today, where centimo coins are rarely used in daily trade, this version of the 50 centimo coin was minted from 1983 to 1994, later replaced by the improved Flora and Fauna series in the mid-1990s. Eventually, the new generation currency NGC coin series removed the 50 centimo denomination altogether. Common in circulation during the 1980s. Today, coins in uncirculated UNC or brilliant uncirculated BU condition are sought by collectors. Values range from 5 Cuban pesos to 50 Cuban pesos plus, depending on condition. Some coins with mint errors or proof strikes can be worth more. The 1983 Philippine 50 centimo coin stands as a symbol of national pride through the image of Marcelo del Pilar, biodiversity conservation through the Philippine eagle, economic transition and cultural heritage during a critical period in Philippine history. It's more than just a piece of metal, it's a mirror of the country's identity, values, and resilience.
The 1990 Philippine 1 Piso coin is part of the Flora and Fauna series issued by the Banco Central ng Pilipinas, Central Bank of the Philippines, and it holds a meaningful place in the evolution of the country's coinage system. Though it might seem like an ordinary piece of metal, this coin tells a story of national identity, economic reform, and the Philippine government's effort to promote its natural heritage through currency design. Portrait: Jose Rizal, the Philippine national hero, known for his pivotal role in the propaganda movement during the Spanish colonial period. Rizal's presence on the 1 peso coin symbolizes intellectual courage and the Filipino fight for independence. The Philippine eagle Pithecofaga jeffrey, one of the rarest and most powerful birds of prey in the world, and the national bird of the Philippines, Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas. The denomination 1 peso. The eagle reflects the rich biodiversity of the country and its conservation message during a time when environmental awareness was becoming more prominent globally. In 1990, the Philippines was undergoing major political and economic transformation. The government of President Corazon Aquino was leading post-Marcos reforms and promoting democracy. The economy was stabilizing, and there was an effort to modernize the nation's institutions, including the monetary system. The introduction of coins that highlighted flora and fauna aimed to foster national pride, educate the public on environmental conservation, improve coin durability and aesthetics. Compared to earlier designs, the use of the Philippine eagle on the reverse side wasn't just decorative. It represented endangered species awareness. The eagle was already critically endangered due to habitat loss, national strength, and identity. The eagle was seen as a powerful metaphor for independence and resilience. It helped bridge the gap between economic policy and ecological consciousness during a time when environmental movements were gaining global momentum. Common circulation pieces are still relatively easy to find and are worth around Philippine peso 1 Philippine peso 5 PHP in use condition. However, uncirculated or error coins like misprints, off-center strikes, or double dies can be valued by collectors for Philippine peso 50 Philippine peso 200 PHP or more, depending on condition and rarity. It is not made of precious metal, so its value is more historical and collectible than intrinsic. By the mid-1990s, the new BSP series began to phase out the flora and fauna series. The 1995 1 peso introduced a new design featuring a stylized BSP logo and more modern aesthetics. Thus, the 1991 peso is now part of a retired coinage era, increasing its nostalgia and collectability value. Among coin enthusiasts, 1990 Philippine 1 peso coin honors Jose Rizal and showcases the Philippine eagle, issued during a transformative period in Philippine history under President Cory Aquino. It belongs to the Flora and Fauna series. The 1987 Philippine 25 centimo coin belongs to the Flora and Fauna series, which was an important numismatic effort by the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas BSP to promote awareness and appreciation of the country's rich biodiversity. This coin not only had monetary function but also educational and cultural value. It features the image of Juan Luna, a revered Filipino painter, patriot, and revolutionary hero. Luna is best known for his iconic painting Spoliarium, and he symbolizes Filipino nationalism and intellectual brilliance. Inscription: Republica ng Pilipinas, Republic of the Philippines, is inscribed around the top. The year 1987 appears at the bottom, marking the mintage year. The Philippine tarsier, Tarsius siricta, one of the world's smallest primates, native to the Philippines, particularly Bohol. It represents the country's efforts to protect its unique and endangered wildlife. To 5 centimo is prominently displayed. Some coins carry a small mint mark, often indicating if it was minted in Quezon City or abroad. Though 1987 coins were mainly locally minted, the year 1987 was a pivotal time in Philippine history. After the EDSA People Power Revolution in February 1986, the country was transitioning from the dictatorship of Ferdinand Marcos to the democratic rule of President Corazon Aquino. A new 1987 Philippine Constitution was ratified in the same year, restoring democratic institutions and freedoms. The coins from this era reflected nationalistic themes, showcasing not just political heroes but also cultural symbols and environmental advocacy. This coin is part of the Flora and Fauna series launched in 1983 and continued until the mid-1990s. The aim was to educate the public and increase environmental consciousness during a time when industrialization and deforestation were threatening native species. Each coin in the series paired a national figure with a native animal or plant. Material: the 1987 25 centimo coin was made of brass, with a golden yellow color. Mintage volume: moderate, not the rarest in the series but increasingly hard to find in uncirculated condition. Today, while common in circulation during the late 1980s and early 1990s, many 1987 coins, Juan Luna, though honored on currency, also appeared on Philippine banknotes in different periods, showing his lasting legacy in Filipino identity. The tarsier, once considered endangered, has become a national symbol of wildlife conservation in the Philippines. This coin is one of the few where the animal on the reverse side is facing forward, giving it a unique visual design. The 1987-5 centimo coin stands as a reminder of a critical point in Philippine history: a new democracy, a new constitution, and a revived national spirit. Through its artistic and symbolic design, it continues to speak about the identity, biodiversity, and values of the Filipino people. Collectors today value it not just for its metallic worth but for the story it tells of struggle, change, and pride.
The 1978 Philippine 1 peso coin stands as a historical artifact from a critical time in the country's political and economic evolution. This coin was minted during the regime of President Ferdinand Marcos, under the era of martial law, and carries the legacy of the Philippines' struggle for identity, national pride, and modernization. The 1 peso coin of 1978 was part of the Ang Bagong Lipunan, the New Society series, which symbolized the new social and political order being implemented by Marcos, introduced after the 1972 declaration of martial law. This coin series aimed to reflect a restructured Philippine economy and society. The obverse front of the 1978 1 peso coin features the profile of President Ferdinand E. Marcos, facing left. Surrounding the portrait are the words Republica ng Pilipinas and the name Ferdinand E. Marcos. This marked the first time in Philippine coinage history that a living president was featured on circulating currency. This choice was politically motivated to promote loyalty to the Bagong Lipunan New Society reform movement that Marcos spearheaded. On the reverse side, the coin features the Ang Bagong Lipunan inscription, with the official seal at the center and the denomination 1 peso boldly displayed below. The year 1978 is prominently engraved at the bottom. The Bagong Lipunan seal includes a stylized sun and geometric elements representing unity, nationalism, and progress. 1978. The Marcos regime was fully entrenched in martial law, and the New Society campaign aimed to overhaul Philippine society. The 1 peso coin was part of a broader propaganda initiative to instill a sense of order, discipline, and nationalism. The Bagong Lipunan coinage, including the 1978 1 peso, was introduced as a response to inflation and the need for economic restructuring. The government launched new coin designs to signal stability and control amidst a time of political unrest. The 1978 1 peso coin was widely circulated and became a common feature of everyday transactions. It had considerable purchasing power during the late 1970s, equivalent to about a small meal or several household items. The coin wasn't just a piece of currency. It was a tool of state propaganda. By featuring the President and the New Society slogan, the coin became a silent instrument of influence, reminding citizens of the government's overarching presence in their daily lives. The Philippine economy during this time was struggling with rising foreign debt, unemployment, and inflation. The government tried to mask economic issues through infrastructure projects and military control. Coins like the 1 peso were emblematic of the government's attempt to portray normalcy and progress. While exact mintage figures are not publicly disclosed in detail, millions of these coins were produced in 1978. Due to their high circulation, most examples today are worn, but uncirculated pieces are prized by collectors.
The 198410 centimo coin from the Philippines holds historical and numismatic significance as part of the country's transitionary phase in both economic and political landscapes. This coin is a product of the Ang Bagong Lipunan series, which represented a pivotal era during the rule of President Ferdinand A. Marcos. The obverse features a right-facing portrait of Francisco Baltasar, also known as Francisco Ballot, is one of the Philippines' most revered literary figures. The words Republica ng Pilipinas, Republic of the Philippines, encircle the upper edge of the coin, while the year 1984 is inscribed at the bottom. Balagtas' name appears prominently near his image. Balagtas, often considered the prince of Tagalog poets, is best known for his epic poem, Florandi at Laura. His inclusion on the coin reflects the era's emphasis on promoting Filipino cultural identity and nationalism. The reverse side of the coin displays the denomination, 10 centimo, at the center. Surrounding this are the words Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas, the country's central monetary authority. Also featured is the stylized BSP logo of the time. The year 1984 was marked by intense political and economic turmoil in the Philippines. The economy was suffering from debt, inflation, and unemployment. Following the assassination of Benigno Ninoy Aquino Jr. in 1983, public unrest intensified, and the legitimacy of Marcos' authoritarian regime was being questioned. The Ng Bagong Lipunan ABL series, under which the 1984 10 centimo was issued, was part of the government's propaganda effort. Coins in this series aimed to project order, discipline, and a new society, aligning with Marcos' vision of a reformed Philippine nation. The 10 centimo coin was used for small everyday purchases, particularly for items like candies, matches, and tricycle fares. Although modest in value, it was essential for small transactions in rural and urban areas alike. However, due to inflation, its purchasing power steadily declined. The use of aluminum in the 10 centimo coin symbolized a cost-saving strategy. As inflation grew and metal prices fluctuated globally, using lightweight and inexpensive metals became necessary to keep production costs low. This practical approach also made the coin more affordable for mass production. The ABL coin series, including the 10 centimo 1984, was eventually phased out following the 1986 People Power revolution that led to the ousting of President Marcos. Coins bearing symbols of his regime were gradually replaced with new designs during the administration of President Corazon Aquino, which emphasized democratic values and economic rebuilding. The 1984 10 centimo coin is common in circulated condition and often found in bulk coin lots or inherited collections. However, coins in uncirculated or mint state condition may appeal to collectors of Philippine history or vintage currency, especially those focusing on the martial. The 2-peso coin of 1990 is a unique and now nostalgic piece of Philippine numismatic history. This coin belongs to the Flora and Fauna series, which was introduced in the early 1980s to highlight the rich biodiversity and historical figures of the Philippines. The 1990 2-peso coin is notable for its design, metallic composition, and cultural significance. The 2-peso denomination had already existed in both banknote and coin form, but in 1990, it was being produced in the coinage of the Flora and Fauna series, which was launched in 1983. This series aimed to educate the public and commemorate the beauty of Philippine wildlife while continuing to honor national heroes. The obverse of the 1990 2-peso coin features a left-facing portrait of Andres Bonifacio, the father of the Philippine Revolution. His name encircles the coin near the top with the word Republica ng Pilipinas around the upper perimeter. Bonifacio symbolizes the fight for independence and national pride. His image on the coin serves as a powerful reminder of the country's history of resistance and revolutionary struggle during Spanish colonization. On the reverse side is the image of the Tamara bubulus mindorensis, a small, endangered buffalo species native to the island of Mindoro. The tamaro represents the Philippines' commitment to preserving its native wildlife and serves as an icon of the country's unique ecology. The nickel-brass composition gives it a golden appearance, making it distinct from the more common silver-tone coins in circulation. During that time, the 19902 peso coin was minted by the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas, BSP, and distributed nationwide. While it was widely circulated during the early 1990s, it eventually became less common as newer coin series were introduced and as inflation adjusted the practical use of the 2-peso denomination. The Flora and Fauna coin series included multiple denominations and featured different plants and animals, paired with notable Filipino heroes. This series was educational in nature and helped foster a sense of environmental and national consciousness among citizens. By the late 1990s and early 2000s, the BSP started phasing out the flora and fauna series in favor of the new BSP series. The 2 peso coin was eventually demonetized, meaning it was no longer considered legal tender. Demonetization date, January 2, 1998, but with full demonetization ending by 2002. It was replaced by newer coins or simply fell out of common use due to rising prices and changes in transaction patterns. The 1990 2 peso coin is considered a collector's item, especially when in uncirculated or proof condition. Its value varies depending on its condition, diverse ecosystems. It stands as a symbol of educational coinage and marks a significant period in Philippine minting history when coin design became more thematic and meaningful.
5 peso piece from 2014. But beneath the surface lies a surprising secret, one that could turn this everyday coin into a rare and valuable treasure worth thousands of US dollars. Zoom in on the obverse of the 5 peso coin featuring Andres Bonifacio. A dramatic glow highlights the portrait. Andres Bonifacio, the revolutionary hero of the Katipunan, proudly graces the front. This design, introduced in the new generation currency coin series, marked a return to honoring national heroes beyond the traditional presidents. Timeline animation showing changes in the 5 peso coin's design from 1995 to 2014, including past versions with Emilio Aguinaldo. But what makes the 2014 issue so important isn't just design, it's what lies behind the scenes. During this year, the Banco Central in Philippines quietly began phasing out older coin designs while preparing for the launch of a newer series. Because of this transition, some 2014 coins were minted in relatively low numbers or struck with slight die inconsistencies. Magnified close-up of the 2014 5 peso coin showing details. Andres Bonifacio's face. Republica in Philippines, the mint year. Some versions have weak strikes, double dies, or misalignments among collectors. These small flaws mean big value. Coins with striking errors like off-center punches, rotated dies, or doubled letters are considered rare. Add uncirculated condition to the mix, and you've got a coin that could fetch hundreds or even thousands of US dollars in auction rooms or private sales. Gloved hands placing a 5 peso. The value skyrockets when the coin is in mint state. Graded MS65 or higher and carries errors, like a double die obverse or off-metal strike. These examples are extremely limited, making them highly desirable in the numismatic world. Animated price graph showing steady increase in value of rare Philippine coins from 2010 to 2025. As Filipino coins gain international attention, collectors from the US, Europe, and Asia are now chasing these overlooked treasures. What used to be a simple coin for jeepney fare now holds real investment value. Collector showcases coin folders, albums, and binders. The 2014 5 peso coin is highlighted in a glass display box with lighting. Collectors are now scouring old jars, drawers, and coin banks. Why? Because this small silver-colored coin, once ignored, is turning heads around the world. An elderly person opens a dusty wooden box, revealing dozens of old 5 peso coins. One is picked up and closely examined under magnification. If you happen to own a 2014 5 peso coin, especially in brilliant uncirculated condition or with a minting error, you may be holding onto a piece worth far more than its face value. Side by side of a normal coin and an error coin with annotations. Red circles highlight misalignment and doubling. Look carefully. A small difference can mean a big payday. From off-metal strikes to rotated dies, these minor imperfections turn average coins into high-demand collectibles. Don't wait for the market.
1974, Philippine 10 centimo coin resting on a velvet cloth. Dramatic lighting highlighting its details. It may be small, copper-colored, and often overlooked, but this 1974 Philippine 10 centimo coin could be hiding a value far beyond its face, worth thousands of US dollars to collectors today. Cut to macro shot of the obverse. Republica ng Pilipinas. The profile of Francisco Baltasar, minted during a time of national transition. This coin features the profile of Francisco Baltasar, the legendary Filipino poet. His inclusion on the coin honored his literary legacy during a time when Filipino nationalism was being reasserted under the Marcos regime. Cut to white shot of 1970s era. Manila black and white. Footage of political rallies, students, and old jeepneys. The year 1974 marked a turning point in Philippine history. Martial law was in full effect. Censorship was tightening, but cultural pride continued to shine right down to the country's coinage. Zoom in on the reverse of the coin. Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas seal. The reverse bears the seal of the Central Bank of the Philippines, a symbol of economic regulation and national identity. But what makes this coin rare is not just its design. Cut to a gloved hand, flipping several 10 centimo coins under a magnifier. Certain 1974 10 centimo coins were struck with errors, off-center strikes, double dies, and even rotated dies. These many mistakes, rare as they are, can make a single coin worth over $1,000 USD. To serious collectors, cut to close-ups of misaligned coins, magnified edges, and visible doubling. Collectors pay top dollar for these anomalies. Imagine turning loose change into a windfall simply because of a flaw only sharp eyes can spot. Cut to collector's auction. Footage, a 10 centimo coin being bid on. Numbers rising rapidly in recent auctions. Pristine 1974 10 centimo coins, especially those with unique errors or uncirculated condition, have fetched surprising prices. It's not just metal, it's monetary history. Cut to animation of a coin's journey from minting to circulation, to collector's case, from mint to market, from pocket to pedestal. This little copper coin tells a story of Filipino heritage, economic change, and the mystery of numismatic value. Slow motion of coin, spinning in the air and landing perfectly with the date. Facing up, 1974. If you find one in your old coin jar, don't ignore it. That tiny 10 centimo piece may be your link to a forgotten era and maybe even a small fortune. Coins like these are more than currency. They're time machines in copper. And in the right hands, they're worth far more than 10 centavos. Fade to black. Soft instrumental music plays.